foot next to the ball. If their foot's back here and they're reaching for it, they're not going to have any balance. They're not going to be able to complete the pass. If it's too far ahead, pointing to the target. If it's over here and I'm twisting myself and trying to make that pass, very difficult. Okay? So first thing, stationary ball. Step away from the ball and now think about the approach. I personally use like field goal kickers in American football because usually enough kids have at least seen it, where the kicker takes one step to the side. It's the same concept, it's a similar idea, because now when you step to the ball and you strike it, your hips are kind of all going in that direction. And it's even with the pass. So a slight angle, step, and then our last step needs to be a little bit bigger. Then you talk about the foot that's coming in contact. And I usually show them too. Like if you look at your toe and the space, then you're not going to get a lot of contact on the ball, so you don't have a lot of control. But as we turn it and we hit it here, we're going to have more control for short passes. If we want to hit a long pass or a shot, then we can hit with our laces. But good for the kids too is to think about shooting is passing. So you can use the inside of your foot if you're close to the goal to shoot as well. Okay? So then, stepping away, stationary ball, stepping to it, and going through it. Okay? And then let's step away each time, and you just try to get them a lot of repetition with this. Step to it, and you go through. And then we talk about, so you see you hit it a little bit too much with your toe. Yeah. So you gotta turn it and then lock your ankle and keep it locked the whole time. As they go through, it's the shoes, but the kids are gonna say that too, so you can't get that. That's good. Always trying to use both feet. So maybe you say right foot only for a while. Encourage them to use their left foot, because in the game, you're not gonna have time to run all the way over here and try to use the right foot. Or you guys will see this a lot. They try to do this pass with the right foot. It's a whole different level. Xavi and those guys at the highest level would let them do that. Okay? For us, whichever side of your body it's on, we're using that foot. Then even just have them open their legs, pass it through the legs for a point. Competition. Something silly, 5 jumping jacks if they lose, or whatever.
Right.
Then we could even have, you go behind the back there.
Push-ups and what was that? Frog.
So building it up, first just passing, stationary ball. Then you could say they try to touch it and hit a moving ball. Or before that, even for a competition, you have to pass from behind that line. And you guys, I don't have this set up how it would look. Here, I'll put this one. And maybe the space is too big. Again, you have to adjust the space. But now I have to pass from behind the line. Again, the ingredients, I'm setting the rules, right, and the space. And now I have to step back and try to bring out everything. And I have to play it through there to get a point. Now we're all on one team. And after I pass, if there's maybe 5 players at the most here, ideally maybe it's 2 and 2. There's another team right there doing the same thing. And maybe even another team.
Right.
And now we're competing. And I have to be behind the line. I have to play with the inside of my foot. And then I go behind the line and our whole team says 1 and we're competing against them, the other teams. And right there you're bringing about a little more pressure.
Right.
And then they have to play quicker. So you're already bringing out a little bit more like a game. And then from there you can mix it up. Right now, right foot only. Maybe it doesn't count. I don't know, it's your rule. You're the coach. But I would say it doesn't count. But it's up to you. Right foot only, then maybe left foot only,
Right.
then either one. And then we have to talk about hitting the ball longer and a longer pass. And a longer pass is going to be with our laces, with our shoelaces. And then you could use this exercise, but we might want to make it a little bit bigger. But then with the long pass, like you were mentioning, all the same things come up, but what's important too is that their foot here, which is a little uncomfortable on the knee, has to come to the inside, and the toes to the outside, and the heels on the inside, so they hit through the middle of the ball with their laces. So if they're trying to, if this foot's too close, the plant foot, and they're trying to hit with their laces with their foot straight up and down, it's very difficult. So this is hard to do. This is their first tendency to hit it with their toe. What we want to try to get is there. All of them have to figure out the space here, what's comfortable for them. And now we really want to talk about taking a big last step. So these steps are just preparing us for this. And all of them have to figure it out. First, a stationary ball. So again, kickback. You know, just having one kid over here and over there, and they're playing it back and forth. Again, everyone's making the same mistakes. Stop the whole group and you tell everyone. But give them a lot of repetition, and then you see that one player's not doing it right, and you get specific on what they need to do better. So then you try to build a competition. Okay, then, make sense so far? Yeah. Any other questions there with that? So just some of the basics, and you guys know, and some literature you guys can read, some of the other basics of passing. Good competition I do quite a bit, if that's the goal that you're standing in. This will be a cone next to the goal, so that's the goal he's standing in. That's a cone. This is a cone, maybe about 10 steps away, so you do it on the big goal. So picture this on the big goal. Maybe 10 steps away, and then this cone is about at the top of the box. Okay? So again, maybe we have 12 players. For instance, 6 on each side of the goal. And then there's one in the goal, 13 players, whatever it is. Pass there, control, pass it to this player. So still the passing we're bringing out. Now this player has to touch it and shoot a moving ball, which is a little more difficult. Sorry, I said with a goalkeeper. First thing we could do without a goalkeeper. What I do a lot of times to have them practice hitting it with their laces is they have to hit the back. Ideally there's a net, but they have to hit the back of the net in the air. So it gets them just trying to hit through the middle of the ball and hitting it correct. And the ball has to hit the middle of the air. Now, or it has to hit the middle of the net in the air. Now, if this is way outside the box and their shot is from the top of the box, it might be too far. So again, as coaches, you have to try to bring out success. Maybe they need to be even closer. Maybe even closer. Maybe really close to the 6. Just to get the technique correct. Hitting it not with their toe, not with the outside of their foot, hitting it with their laces. Their last step is correct. Plant foot is pointing to the target. They're hitting it with the correct part. And this side would probably be left foot. This side would be happening as well, and it's right foot. And then again, you make it a competition and you try to bring out a lot of repetition. And then we can obviously throw a goalkeeper in, right? Then we can say, a little more difficult, play it in and he has to drop it back to that player. That player controls it and hits a little bit of a longer pass up here. Or this player plays it in and he drops it back to this same player here. He plays it across and now you have to hit one touch. That's more difficult. You know, it's better to let them control it, take a few touches, and then hit it. But if you want a progression, then there's ways you can progress. So then hitting a short pass across, one touch, or a ball coming out at them, they have to hit one touch. That's the most difficult. Okay, everyone see that? I want to show you one more shooting drill. Another really good one. 2 lines on each side. I'll just take the cone to use it. And then you make a line that they have to pass from behind. So they can't cross that line when they shoot. And basically, and most of the kids really love this one, basically they run out and they run around this cone, and again this is somewhere around the top of the box, probably in the box. Like this line is probably close to the penalty mark. And then, you know, this is maybe 10 yards. So they're running around, and if they can, the next player in line passes the ball out to them. They take a touch, and they shoot on the goal with a goalie, or maybe it's the net, and then that player's running around, and it's competition. First it's 2 or 3 touch, then maybe from the pass it's 1 touch, and then you make it a competition. Then they switch sides, and so on.
One side playing with your left foot, one side playing with your right foot.
I mean, ideally what you would talk about is taking your first touch to the middle of the goal. So because if they take the first touch out here, it's not a good angle. So ideally, if the spacing is correct, in the middle of the goal, so yeah, this would be right foot, exactly. That would be left foot.
And they get to switch left side there.
Yeah, but they get to switch.
Yeah, they get to switch all the time, and then you're talking about that first touch going in that direction. Yep.
So after they shoot, they run back onto the other side?
To the same line, because it's competition.
Alright, okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one. That one, we use that quite a bit. But again, they need to be able to pass from there all the way up here. So maybe it's difficult, or maybe the two coaches need to make that pass. I mean, you know, but as coaches, you can come up with all of that. But the idea, again, is the repetition, and that might be one training session that you're bringing out all those points that we already talked about, right? Of there's plan for it. And you're talking about it every single time. And when a kid does it, even while the exercise is going on, you don't need to stop the whole exercise to tell one player what they did wrong. Because most likely the kid knows, most of the time, they know if they make a mistake. You could ask them if they know what they did wrong, but then you can also tell them while the exercise keeps going. I want to make sure that's clear for everyone. Again, if everyone's doing it wrong, every single player's kicking it with their toe, you stop the whole group and you show them again. Or every single player's not planting their foot next to the ball, stop the whole group and tell them again. But if it's a couple kids as it's playing, let everyone keep going so they can get the repetition, and you just bring up the points to the kids as they're playing.